All right, Baylor on the road traveling to BYU. If you look at Baylor, they were 5-1 against AP-ranked teams last season. It's pretty dang good. If you look at what BYU had in the opener, they ran the ball with tremendous efficiency. 312 yards rushing on 37 attempts. That's the best and the highest mark in a single game since averaging nearly 9 yards per carry against Nevada back in 2013. It's their highest yards per rush under Kalani Sitake. He got there in 2016. So it was very, very impressive what they did last week on the ground. But if you look at what Baylor is, Baylor's probably one of the best teams in America against the run. They were second last year among Big 12 teams in allowing just 116 rushing yards per game and only 3.3 yards per carry. They also rarely ever allow teams to eclipse the 100-yard mark. It happened only 7 times last year. So if you look at this is a team that sells out against the run. And you know this defense is going to travel. What I think is the game within the game here is Jeff Grimes. You're probably thinking, who is Jeff Grimes? Jeff Grimes is the offensive coordinator of Baylor, formerly the offensive coordinator of BYU. They have kind of similar offensive styles. They want to get downhill. They want to lean on the outside zone. The offenses are very simple if you look at them from a 3,000-foot perspective. But as you get down to it, they're difficult on the competition because they don't do a whole lot. But what they do it really, really well. If you look at what Baylor is defensively, they're very solid. You look at what Baylor is offensively. Blake Shapen was deadly accurate last week. He looked tremendous. I think that performance can continue over and over and over and over again. Their chances, I think, on offense are really, really impressive. Let's talk about BYU just for a hot second. They didn't need much against South Florida last week. Got out to a 28-0 lead. They were dominating in the first quarter of that football game. If that's what we get over and over and over again, it will be very tough, I think, to keep up with BYU this year. How is it going to go? Right now, BYU a slight favorite. I lean in that direction as well. I love Baylor this year, but two teams that are built very similarly. Give me the home field. Give me the altitude. I think it's going to be rocking there in Provo as they welcome in a top 10 Baylor team. BYU gets plenty of opportunities to play against quality competition. To have one in their backyard, I've been up there before. I've seen a ranked USC team go down in that house. I think it'll be very tough for Baylor to match the intensity of BYU. And if they do, it would tell me an awful lot about what the Bears are going to do this year.
If BYU wins, where do you put them? Like, where would you rank BYU?
Depends on how they win. If they go out and they wipe the floor with Baylor and they take them to the cleaners early, then we're talking about a team that's probably in the top 12. The only thing that might hurt them is the fact that the game's being played at 10:15 Eastern on ESPN. How many people will see it? How many people react to it? I'm hopeful, if you're doing your job as an AP voter, you'll have a strong reaction to it if they go out and they dominate. But either way, I think Baylor and BYU, the amount of similarities between these two programs is unique. Very physical brand of football, very simple offense, but an aggressive offense. But I look at the two quarterbacks too. I mean, Jaron Hall against Blake Shapen, two guys that can flat out play. So I really like both these teams. I just lean in favor of the home team here in Provo. I think BYU gets it done with a late field goal to potentially put it on ice.